Hey guys, it's Chris here with Shadetree America. Today I'm taking a little bit of break from a different part of the video that I'm making, and we're going to start working on the minivan part 4. We're going to start doing the repairs. We're going to do that strut over here. This is the one with the broken spring. This is the passenger side in the front. But first I have to take this off, this cowl, the wiper blades and everything like that. So I'll bring you guys back whenever I get that far. All right, I want to get this done as fast as I can. I don't have much time to do this, but quickly, we're going to pretty much change everything here. I have the McPherson strut tool here. We're going to get the ABS sensor unplugged here for the wheel bearing that's bad. I got to find that nut and get these brakes off as well. Pretty much this whole side's gonna go. So bear with me. I'm gonna show a little bit of this. I don't want to show a lot because I'm gonna not have the time to constantly film, but I want to film it.
So what you're seeing is the time lapse of me working on the van. I'm actually doing editing on this while I'm at home sick. The front end of this vehicle from sitting it wasn't really that rusty, but as you can tell in some of the stuff, it took a lot. I've actually quite a bit of editing on this side here. You'll see the strut itself, if my head gets out of the way. You can see where the strut's really rusty. The strut mounts were okay, but the strut itself was just really rusty. The spring's broken, of course. The brakes were rusted up. The rotors, the slides, I did clean the slides. I don't know if I edited out some of that stuff or not, but the brakes on this side, like I said, were pretty trashed. They were all trashed just in general, and you'll see in the video where it's also changed over. Right now I'm just explaining while I'm working also, and I sped this up just because I didn't think that you guys really wanted to listen to rants from a lunatic, even though you are kind of right now. So I'm gonna be quiet. We're gonna keep going on this, and I'm just gonna keep doing speed up, time lapses whenever I can on the repairs and everything, just because of the fact that if not, this video is going to be like 5-6 hours long on the job, and I just don't see something that you guys are going to really want to be interested in watching. You can see I didn't have safety equipment also on like I should have, and that's just something that, don't do what I did. Make sure you guys are being safe out there. Safety equipment, eye protection, hearing protection, respirator, just because of the fact that, that aluminum dust, that steel dust is going to be something that's unsafe to breathe or get into your eyes, your face, or whatever. So I'm going to kick it back over there so you guys can watch and go from there. And I will be over explaining to the other side as well. This side, I think, took like an hour and a half or so to do. The other side wasn't as much because we didn't have to change out wheel bearing, so I didn't have to worry. Plus the one side always goes longer just because of the fact that you're getting all your tools. So just another thing. And you can see that I did torque that. You can see where I use like the Quinn torque adapter that I have. So I'm gonna leave it at that. If I do see something else, I might chime in. So
Okay, so it's another day, guys. I had to quit overnight here. We're going to do the left side here. We're going to do the pads, the rotors, and that strut and that sway bar link. So I'm going to leave this play out here like I did on the other side. I'll edit out everything so you guys aren't bored. And let's get to it.
So the driver's side front here, we changed the strut and the brakes. With the strut, you have the sway bar link. The sway bar itself was in a twist, and you'll see a little bit there where I'll be jumping around and stuff trying to get that hooked up on. Unfortunately, I was in a rush trying to get done with this stuff, and it rained. You can see where my shirt's soaked, my pants will be soaked. But fortunately, we didn't have to change a wheel bearing on this side, so I didn't have to worry about pounding a wheel bearing or anything like that. So just for time constraints, I did speed this up quite a bit. So, and I did cut quite a bit of stuff out of it as well, just to make sure you guys aren't getting bored over this. So, like I said, this side, the strut was just, I really only replaced this strut just because I did the other side, and I bought them as a pair. And if you're going to change the one, you might as well change the other. It just makes more sense. And no, it wasn't lightning. That was just the sun coming around there. So I'm going to let you guys get back to it and watch me finish up on this side.
All right, this is the left rear wheel. We'll do a quick time lapse. I'm going to get this thing up in the air, get it blocked up. Now we're going to be doing the brake rotors. I don't know if the calipers are good or not. I do have new calipers. I'm going to resurface those brake pads, and we're going to do rear shocks. I'm going to do coilovers. Coilover shocks are a little bit different than normal shocks. Normal shocks don't have a spring on the outside. That's what these are. They have a spring on them. They're a little bit extra weight, a little extra towing capacity. Future video, we will put tow hitch on this, but we're not towing anything. It's just going to be for a little bit extra hauling, like a cargo, some sort of a cargo setup there with, you know, like a rack or something, or bicycle rack. I really not sure, but I just want to have it on there just to be case. Maybe I might tow with it. I doubt it though. So let's get to it. You guys will see a time lapse of this as well.
So on the driver's side rear, we replaced the brake rotors. The brake pads I was able to resurface and reuse. They were like brand new, and we changed the shock there. I did have new calipers. I did not change them because them calipers actually were decent. Also, you'll see where I did change the slide, just because of the fact that they were kind of gummed up and I was missing a bolt that I didn't notice that was missing. So it was just easier to change the slides. I also edited this one down quite a bit also, and you'll see right there, I mean, stuff was froze right up. The wheel bearing, we also changed that as well, and you'll see on there where I had to heat that up. I spent at least an hour working on trying to get that wheel bearing free. You'll see where I'm pounding on it with the hammer and just slamming like a lot on it. I've actually edited quite a bit out trying to get it. So I'm gonna let you guys watch this, and
I'll come back for the passenger side and rear to talk about that as well. So I want to make a quick explanation here, exactly what coilover shocks are that I'm saying. Normal shock absorber, well, this is a normal shock absorber. Well, this is a blown one. This is the one that came in it. Compresses, it's not coming back. It should go back and forth. Basically, it takes the shock of the road, bouncing potholes and stuff, makes your ride smooth. This thing's junk. This is a Monroe coilover shock. Other companies, KYB, Gabriel, whatnot, make these as well. So what this does is basically the normal shock absorber, but it has a spring for heavy hauling, loads, towing, and whatnot. I did this because they last a little bit longer because they have the spring as well. I'm able to haul a little bit more cargo, passengers, and whatnot. So that's why I chose this. This is what a coilover is. When I bolt this up into the top, this bottom will have to be pushed up because I'm compressing these springs. Same as what the strut was in the front. This is the same setup basically as a strut. So you'll see me with a jack underneath there. I'll be pumping it up. But basically that's what a coilover shock is. You don't have a cover for the front here because of the fact that it's sealed a lot better than what a normal shock is. I just tossed this thing. Thing's junk. I compressed that thing. It hasn't come back yet. So basically there was no way that this thing was going to absorb any kind of potholes, any kind of imperfections in the road. So it's going to ride a lot smoother, especially with the new suspension. So basically that was a quick overview of what a coilover shock is compared to a regular shock. Why these shocks were bad. I thought they were were better because of the fact they weren't leaking on the one side. The other side is leaking out. That's just junk. I mean, it leaked out, but the other one's more of a prevalent thing that you can see a little bit newer. So quick explanation of what coilovers are. Let's get back to repairs. Okay, this side's done. We put a new wheel bearing You guys saw me heat that up. Brake rotors, because they were pitted. We have a caliper slide because the other one needed a slide service, so it was just easier since I had them. We lubricated the piston, or the brakes there. Moved the piston back into the brakes. We know the brakes will work. We checked the parking brake already. And over there is the coilover shock. So it's off to the other side. We'll get the wheel on this one, finish this up, and then we'll get over there actually. We won't have to change a wheel bearing. That's a very good thing because we don't have to worry about that. But shock and rotor, resurface the pad, and this one will be all ready to rock. It'll be ready and ready for safety inspection for the state and ready to be put back on the road after a little over a year of being out of service. So let's move over. All right, we're on the right rear. We're finishing up right now, so get the video set up right here. Let's get it going here.
So now we're on to the passenger side and the rear. This is towards the end of everything being repaired, and you can see where it wasn't too hard to do the brakes, and I wasn't really expecting it to be, but the shock became the biggest hassle, where the top bracket for the shock had to be taken off the body and one of the bolts broke. So you'll see what I ended up doing, and I think I explained it as well, where I had to actually cut a notch into the body, into the mount, so I could put a bolt in there. I've already welded that up. You know, this is pre or post-production, I guess you want to say. This has actually been probably a month and a half later since I was able to finish this up, or maybe 2 months. I just been busy with everything else. It's been kind of hard to edit, but you'll see right there, I'm starting to take it apart. In fact, whenever I get that all taken down, it's one of those things that you never expect it to happen, but somebody, you know, that doesn't know what's going on or really know how to work it, you're going to come across that issue, and then you're going to freak out because you don't know. But luckily I was able to know what to do.
All right, bringing you guys in here really quick. The shock bracket that I was showing earlier, bolts right, oh, my hand's in the way, right here, right over here. Well, that bolt broke, and then 2 down here. What I'll have to do is I will take and cut this right here, make a box right here, fold this lip down, put a nut in here, pound this out, get this out of the way, and I'll have to have a nut on top of there. That's the best way to fix this, other than to spend forever drilling that. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of room to drill anything. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll just cut this, fold this down, then I can just put that back up into place, and it'll be just fine. You won't even notice it. This is just a box to hold that in place. It's not going to be enough to really bother it. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'll bring you guys back whenever I'm done. All right, so bring you guys back. I took that die grinder, cleaned this all up here so I can flip that over, weld it, but this was the bolt that was in there. Little spot welds in each spot. Just took actually an 18mm, put a little bit of persuasion on it, broke it off. So I got another bolt that'll fit right in there in that hole. I don't have to worry about it. And in all honesty, I'll probably not be changing the shocks again on this. So, and if I do, I'm gonna have to probably cut it again or just not do it. So I'm gonna get everything wrapped up here, and then I'll bring you guys back whenever I get everything done here. All right, so I got this, this is bolted. You can see the bolt. Got this pounded up into place. Where I'm at right now, I don't have access to a welder, but when I can, I'm gonna put a tack here, tack here, tack here, get that solid up. It's nice and clean, and then what I'll do is, instead of painting that, I'm actually gonna put tar on that and just cover that with tar. Shocks in place. Wheel, this side's all done here as well. So unfortunately that was the hardest thing. Well, besides that and that wheel bearing, but this will be ready to get the certification inspection. It's all ready to go. I don't have to worry about that. So we have a couple other things left on this vehicle until we're totally done with it. So stay tuned, and we'll see what else we can do. We have a trailer hitch that's going to go on here as well. We got a couple other things. So I'm going to let that at that. I will catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there, and God bless.